Learn pop-up equipment. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Sick. Okay. Rubber duck time. You non-programmers know what rubber duck means. That means when you're debugging code, sometimes you sit and you look at the screen for 3 hours and you're tearing your hair out and you're thinking, I don't know what's wrong. So you will put a little rubber duck on your desk and you will explain to the rubber duck. The rubber duck is your best friend, your coworker. You will explain to the rubber duck, here's how it works. Here's how it should work. And you talk through the steps. And you say, okay, this is supposed to do this and this is supposed to do this. And when you're saying it out loud and you're explaining the logic that's going on, it becomes much easier to find the bug. So, yeah, you're my rubber duck. There's nothing you can do about it. You clicked on the video. You reserved yourself to this fate. So sorry, Charlie. So here's the problem. So in this game, you unlock moves. This little Castlevania Aria of Sorrow candle should let me hit C on it, and I should be able to unlock a move. And it's not working. So I got to figure out why pressing C doesn't activate this thing. So I have the unlock item scene, right? The unlock item should unlock for me. Okay, wait. Here's the scene. Then I have it instanced in my little debug world. So this is my test area that I use. I have the world. I have my fighters. Here's the two fighters. I have AK and Val. There's the room. And in the room, we have an items node that has all the items in it, one of which is the unlock stand. And that's the scene that we looked at a second ago. Okay, so this one should let me unlock long fireball move, which is, let's go take a look at it. Let's make sure that she can use it, which I don't think should be an issue, but who knows, man? I'll show you what should happen. Oh my god, LFB1. Well, that's a problem. Okay, well, when she uses LFB1, it's a, oh, that's the wrong, that's the wrong number. That's not fireball. Well, whatever, it's fine. Okay, well, first of all, I put on the wrong one. So let's see. LFB1. And I very seriously doubt that that's the problem. But you know what we do when we fix little typos like that? Maybe it is the problem. Who knows? So let's just go try it. I'm not betting that this is going to change anything, but nope. But you know what it did change? Ah, look at that. So one thing about these is I'm not going to use this sprite clearly. I'm not going to commit intellectual property theft, but when you have a different type of move, so the long type of moves are specific to characters who can use zoners, the zoning moves. So AK can use zoning moves and Val can't. Each of the types has its own color, so the long ones, the zoning moves, will turn the little unlock thing green. So before, because it couldn't find what move it was white. That's just a base type move. And then if you have a specific aura move that you'll be able to unlock, then it'll change colors so you can tell. But so in arena mode, you're going to be going through the stages, right? It's kind of like Hades or whatever, and then you'll come up to some rooms that'll have an unlockable move in them that you can equip, and you won't know what move exactly it is, but you'll be able to pick from the type. So, you know, like, oh, I'm going to get a zoning move, or I'm getting a combo starter. You don't know exactly what it is, but you can strategize a little bit on one type of move you need. So that's something. We fixed one thing, but it still doesn't work. It still can't push C, and I still can't unlock it. Yeah, so that's not it. Okay, so what's supposed to happen when we actually push that button? So I have my item. So this is inheriting from a more generic script I have called active item. So that's the thing that's supposed to respond when I hit C, when I hit the C button or whatever action button. So that little hint that happens changes based on your control configuration. So this is one of the, in Godot you have the input mapping, right? So that's one of my custom actions that I did, and I have the C button mapped to that. Then if you change your input configuration, that C will change to whatever other key. Or controller button. I have another font for the controller buttons that you can use. So it'll tell you if you're using an Xbox controller. It's mapped, I think, to, it might be like L or R, because I want all the regular buttons, the face buttons, to be for attacks. But, you know, if you think that's stupid, you can change it, because it's custom controls, you know. Okay, so let's see what's supposed to happen. So the way this works is, debug world. Okay, so what's supposed to happen is you walk into the area. So we have the unlock item, right? This is a collision area, and it has a item body collision shape. And it's supposed to be that when a character walks into the shape, it triggers on body entered, which is a method in parent active item class right here. It's not saying that, make sure, okay, let's make sure that's the right method. Psych, that's the wrong method. No, that's the right method. Okay, so you can still call functions even if they aren't in the exact script that you're using. If they're in the parent class script, like usually if you connect a signal to a method, it'll show this little icon, right? And then it'll show you, if you click on it, it'll show you what signals are connected to that method. But if you connect a signal to a parent class method, it won't give you that little icon, but it'll still work. It still should work. And this is a pretty basic signal connecting. Oh, wait. See, this is where rubber ducking comes in. Okay. I think no, that should be fine. One thing to know about these is this will fail if you don't have the right arguments passing. So because this body entered signal, this is a built-in signal with Area 2D that's out of the Godot engine. It's not a custom one. Like these are my custom signals and these are built-in signals. Since this body entered signal passes an argument, we have to make sure that the method we're passing to, and because it's in a parent class, I can't double click on it to go to the method. We have to make sure that this has the right number of arguments. If it doesn't have the right arguments, it will fail. And sometimes I think it'll give you an error here. It'll say tried to call method with signal, but it had, I'm not sure about that. If you try to call a method that doesn't exist, it'll say signal tried to execute method, but couldn't be found. I think actually that if you try with the wrong arguments, I don't think you get an error and it just fails, which is something to watch out for. Hot tip. It's a hot tip for you. A little whiskey. Okay. Okay, so I have this breakpoint here. So that's an interesting thing because I have a breakpoint on the unlock item script, and when I go out of the range and I go into the range, it should be triggering this method. So what that's telling me is that that signal is not getting called. So the kind of thing I can think of here is that the collision layers are wrong because AK is not colliding with the area, this unlock area. So let's see. So we want to check. But I think I checked that. I think I double checked that, and it wasn't anything wrong with that. Let's see. So AK is down in the larger world. AK. And so for any physics body, here it is, collision layers. So we have this collision layers section where it should tell you, so this is defining what my layer is. So AK is a character and she's a player. So I can tell all my fighters whether they're players or NPCs, because, you know, sometimes I don't want the NPCs to pick up the health pickups and stuff. So I specifically say I can check whether it's a player that has entered the area or whether it's any fighter. So she'll respond, like I can have different items respond to different fighters based on whether they're controlled by players or NPCs or AI or whatever you want to call it, computer. Okay, so she is player collision and she should be colliding with This is the generic world layer, so that's like anything kind of inanimate, I guess. Other characters, that's right. Doors and range, which is the range of attack you have. So the way this game works, like this is fake. This is fake 3D. You can go up and you can go left and right, but it's all on a 2D plane. So a lot of people when they do this, you make like a 3D world and then you put 2D sprites in it. I'm doing it the opposite way. I'm taking a 2D world and I'm faking that there's a third dimension. So part of that means when you have a character, I don't want my attacks to hit Val when I'm standing up here. And since oops, no. Shapes are off. Let's see. Super. No, we can just turn them on. Close attack range. So this is the attack range, and there's long attack range. So in order to land an attack, your other fighter that you're interacting with has to be within this this big long rectangle. So for projectiles, it's the long one, and then for close range ones, it's the short one. So Val's little circle there has to be, and if I hit from back here, it won't land. Actually, I should probably extend that close range one. But that's because see like this one, see that blue box that hits up there? If I didn't have this kind of range thing, then this blue box would still hit Val, even though she's standing really too far away. So that's why it works like that. So that's why I have that collision layer on there. But that's not the problem. That is not the problem. That has nothing to do with the problem I'm having right now. Okay, actually I don't want to save that because it's turn on collision shapes. Well, I guess I already did, whatever. Okay, so AK is in what appears to be the correct collision layers. She will collide with world items. The unlock item is a world item. Yes, world player collision. So these should collide with each other. So we should be okay. It's not disabled. Oh, it's disabled. Ha 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 ha. Ah! Okay, let's see. Let's see if it works. Ah, my breakpoint. Ah, my breakpoint. Okay, let's turn the breakpoint off. No, still no. But maybe we, yeah, we did trigger this now. So now we know, we should see here that, yes, active area bodies. So now AK is within this body. So the little unlock item knows that she is in the, see, look, you can see the, you can see the debugger changing. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Yeah. See that active area bodies? It's right up there. I can even move my little camera. Size 0. I'll point right at it for you. Oh. When I move into range, it becomes 1. And then AK shows up right there because I'm watching the remote tab. So I can see everything that's happening in the game. And I know that now AK is in range so that when I hit act, whatever the act is, and act button is C right now. When I hit act, I should be activating this item, but it's not happening. So why isn't it happening? Okay. So we now know that she's in the active area. When you enter the body, it connects the activate signal of the body. Okay, so that's the fighter script. So in this case, body is referring, maybe I should rename that because that's kind of confusing. Let's see. Let's see, fighter body. This is kind of, I named it body because, or I think that might be the default. The problem here is I don't actually know that this is a fighter object. I'm not sure there's a good way to cast it to check in Godot 3, in GDScript 1. There might be actually a good way to cast and check the type. I do have a class on this, so it is called class fighter. I wonder if I could do like, let's try it. Okay, if fighter body is not, fighter body is not a fighter of the fighter class, then we're gonna leave. And as long as this still works, then it's fine. I'm not gonna like test it with other kinds of bodies because I don't. Okay, so if we enter and a breakpoint still hits, okay, good, awesome. So this works. So for people who don't understand classes or don't know about casting, so this body entered is a signal, is a method being called by a signal that passes a physics body, which is a built-in Godot type. And in this case, my fighters are instances of kinematic body. There's other kinds of physics bodies, and there's just generic ones. So like any kind of, if I shoot a projectile, that's also a physics body. But I don't really want it to run this. It wouldn't cause any problems, but I don't want the active item to care if I put a physics body. So I'm gonna cast the, or check. It's checking the type. So I check the class type. And if it matches the class name, then I'm going to do this. If it doesn't match the class name, then I'm going to skip. I return, and that just exits the function early. So because I named my fighters, that's AK and Val and any kind of character fighter, because I named them this class at the top of this, that means that I can check whether it's actually a fighter that entered this. So this is a tangent, but it's a good tangent because now my code's better. Okay, let's see. So when I get in here, I'm connecting the fighter's activate signal. So let's go look at this. So I have a signal activate. Oh, there's two arguments coming from the activate signal. So that's significant. Let's make sure. So remember what I was saying? This is so relevant. No, okay, it does do twice. Okay. Well, let's do this. Okay. So if I'm connecting the signal correctly and I'm emitting the signal from the fighter object, this should be running. So let's make sure that actually runs. If it doesn't run, then we know that's a problem. So let's go again. We have a breakpoint. Nope. Oh, and look at that. Debugger's going. See the debugger? That's the debugger. Error calling method, unlock item, safe activate. Method expected to called with 3. Oh, I added up. Oh, I didn't need to add that. Ah. Oh man, I bet that's the problem. So, okay, here's another thing about connecting signals. So when you connect signals, usually you just connect them and then the arguments go in normally, like, so GameStop does nothing. Okay, so this little bit here, like this input var, that's an argument that's going to get passed with the signal. So your method has to have that. If you want to send to a method that has more arguments than that, you can go into this advanced tab and you can add an extra call argument. So this, adding these will let you send more arguments than the signal would normally. And That's how you do it in the editor. If you connect the signal with code in GDScript, you can use this optional 1, 2, 3, 4th argument, and you put in an array, and the array can have any type of variable in it, any number of variables, and that's what a bind is. So what happened here was I added an extra bind because I thought I wasn't telling safe activate which character initiated the act, right? So when I act, I need to know which fighter. So this is going to pass in my AK object, because here's something about the game. Only AK can use the zoning moves because Val isn't a zoner. She's like a rushdown power character. So AK can use kind of rushdown zoning, and Val can use rushdown power. So she has better DPS, but AK can do some zoning. Kind of sure. Okay, so because of that, I need to know which character activated the item, right? So I thought I wasn't passing that, so I added the bind, but I actually am already passing that, because when I look at this signal declaration, we can see that I have 2 arguments here, and it passes me because it's coming from AK. So this signal already tells me who sent the request. So now this should be activating, because I think it's trying. You see this error, it is trying to call that method. So let's, I think I have to rerun every time. You can whatever you call it. You can modify GDScript during runtime and it still works, but if you have anything in the ready method or any kind of setup you need to do, then you do have to rerun it. Disabled. Okay, collision shape 2D. Oh, okay, I know what this is. So watch my other video about renaming your stuff and good naming practice. I started this game before I made that video, and before I had done all the research for that video, and before I found the Godot style guide, and I did a bunch of bad naming practices. So something I did recently was I went through and renamed a bunch of stuff. And one of those things was, this is a collision shape 2D is a built-in Godot type. It's just a class. And when you're making nodes, you really should rename all of your nodes from because it'll suggest automatically. Let's see. See, I've changed it. So when you add a child node, like if I was going to add the collision shape, Godot automatically just puts the name of the class on it, and if you add more than one, it'll just append a number, shape 2. But that's not good, because when you're writing code, it looks like this is bad too. I need to go in and find out where this is and change it. I might have already changed that. But yeah, so you should always rename your nodes, and this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, and this is bad. So for a lot of my stuff, what I've been doing this past week, I went through and renamed a bunch of stuff. So now there's still places in my code where I'm referring to stuff by like a get node name that is just the name of a node. Because like animation player is a class name. So if this is just a little recap for people who haven't watched my other video. This is really confusing. These are 2 very, very different things. This is a reference to a node instance that I have created, and this is the name of a class that lets me create an instance of this node type. And if I have more than one animation player, like, it isn't clear what this is doing. So it's really good to rename all your nodes. But before I really got into Godot and knew that, I made a bunch of stuff that is not good. So so now that's the problem. Like, I'm looking at that collision shape and I don't know what that is. Okay, where's there? So that's a tangent. And I changed it to item body collision. Is that right? Just as a redundancy that I could have done in the first place. I think I didn't typo it. Okay, debug world. Run your code all the time. Don't bother trying to check it and make sure it runs before you run it. Just run it. Find out if it breaks. It worked. No, it just played the audio and then it didn't. Okay, now it's supposed to fire an effect off. It's not doing that. Let's find out why. We're going to pause real quick. Necessities of coding. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so we're halfway there. Let's see. So when we activate the unlock item, so the unlock stand is a sub that's inheriting from active item script. When you activate it, it uses the activated abstract method. So for all you newbies, an abstract method is a method signature that you define in a parent class that is empty. And the purpose of it is that the parent class calls it in some way and it gets executed differently by all of the children. So I have this parent class called active item that I have a bunch of things inherit from. So like I have a lamp. I have a bunch of little graphical things, you know, like I have a lamp and the lamp inherits the active item script and it extends that. And in the extended script that inherits the active item functionality, I define a new activated method, this here. And that means that the lamp turns on its light when the activated method runs. So I don't need to redo all of this because this is the same. Anytime I walk up to an item and I press C and it does something, I can reuse all this functionality and then I just have to override this activated method, and that's what an abstract method is. So when I have my unlock item, I override the activated function and it replaces the functionality, but because it inherits from active item and I'm calling activated, the method activated here, even though it looks like it doesn't do anything, in the unlock item, it does this instead because I'm overriding it. I am replacing the functionality of its parent. So now it should be firing off this move unlock effect, which is another different scene that I have. Move unlock effect. And it looks empty, but it's so not. I just don't know how not empty it is. Okay, so let's just pop a breakpoint there and see if it works. See what happens. See if it runs that method. So, you know, you put in breakpoints and then just find out if the method runs. Easier than making print statements. Way easier. Okay. Yes. Excellent. Okay, so we know that fire is running and it's just not doing something else. Okay, what's going on here? Global moves list has move key. It should, because move key is LFB1. Yeah, you see when you have your breakpoint and you're debugging, you can hover over variables and it'll tell you what they're set to. And then you can go down here and you can look at them too. So by should be AK. And also when you click on stuff, when you click on objects, it'll bring up their data over here in this panel, unless, like, as long as you have the inspector node. Sometimes I click on this and I was looking at signals and then I click on these and I'm like, why isn't it coming up? Stupid debugger. And then I just forgot to click on inspector. So remember to do that. Okay, so LFB1. So this is right. And we're making it this far. Global moves list. Move manager definitely has that. I can just put in another breakpoint. Data type, not base, and type equals by type 1. So this is where it's what I was talking about before. Remember, so AK has zoning type moves. So this if statement should say we only fire this off if the character who used it, which is by, is allowed to move allowed to use the move key. So these are my two arguments that I'm sending in. And we have both those arguments, and AK's types should be long and fast. Record types, type, move data type by type 1, type 1, type 2, where are they? They're fast, long. Okay, and move set manager global moves list. I should be able to just look at it down here. So these are my auto loads. So I have moveset manager, global moves list, and we'll find LFB1. I think they're not sorted alphabetically. JSON can, and attack long. Yeah, so this should be fine. So it should be going in there. JSON isn't required to be ordered. You can't make it be ordered. It's better that it isn't because it's more efficient. You don't have to sort things. It's better in computer science. In all programming and any kind of computer thing, the less you have to sort, the better, the faster things go. So remember that. Okay, moveset manager, I don't care about. Uh-oh, this is named badly. So a thing about naming, name your file snake case. This is bad because it's named Pascal case, which is the words are all uppercase. Snake case is where you have underscores in between words and everything's lowercase. So this is something I forgot to rename. Script. It's okay for now. So this part only serves for the unlocking of the move. So that's not where we actually fire the effect off. It's not probably not a great place to do that. Oh, wait, fire? Hold on. What? I'm not even firing the effect. This, wait, why is the audio even playing? Very confused now. What? Move data type is not base. Move data type is type 1. Move data type is... I think this should happen always. It's almost back. Oh, not. Okay. Yeah. I missed that. Negation. It's kind of confusing. I don't know if I like that. Maybe I should flip-flop it. So, in the game, you're going to be able to equip things right away if you can. But you might run into a move during adventure mode where the moves don't start unlocked. You have to unlock the cool ones. So as you're working through the game, you might encounter a move that you can't use, but you still should be able to unlock it even if you can't use it. So that's why this does this. And then if you can equip it, you get to equip it right away. So then this kicks in. So that's why this works like that. So we play the whoop. Aha, I better rename that because I was trying to be cool. And if I do this, what's it going to say? Bounds. Let's make sure. Scenes, characters, moves. Characters, moves. No. Nope. It's a bunch of stuff I haven't renamed yet. Okay, well, instance, F, load, move key moves, F, target, connect, track. It's not getting added. Target offset. Well, let's go look at orders for it. Okay, so it should shoot one of these little balls off. F, unlock. Target offset, emit signal fire, connect, reach target, play demo. Oh, it's the demoing the move, so she'll use the move. Move key by connect one shot. So connect one shot for a signal, it'll only happen once. So when I emit this reach target signal, it'll shoot this play demo off, but then no matter how many other times my effect emits the reach target signal, it won't emit the play demo again. It'll only do it one time, and then it'll disconnect basically. And then effect, track. So this effect shoots off, and then it's supposed to go back to whoever called it. So let's see. Connect reach target, play demo, fire effect, emit signal, fire effect. So I think what's supposed to happen here, so because of the way Godot works, positions are relative to their parent. So I want that effect to exist at a higher level than down here in the room level. I want it to be up in the world. I think it's happening in the world. I don't know. It might be happening at the room level. Yeah, it's probably going into this node right here. But my my unlock stand is up here, and the unlock stand is the thing that's firing off the effect, right? I don't want the effect to be in the scene tree under the unlock stand. I want it to go up to this effects thing. So I think, oh, there it is. Okay, fire effect, fire effect, and signal. I think that room has maybe a method called fire effect. Yes. Hold on. I feel like, is this base room? What is this? Base area, right? Ah, it's supposed to be. No. Hold on. Unconnect effect. Right? So sometimes I do this manually through the editor, connecting signals, and sometimes I do it in code. It's just when it's convenient, you know. If it's something that needs to like automatically happen every time, or if it's something where I don't have the node yet and you have to, I'll do it in code. And then if it's just simple and it's kind of a one-off thing. So this feels like the kind of thing I would have connected in code. Maybe not. Let me just fire effect. Let me just connect this. Like, let's not overthink it. The room has a fire effect method, right? So just looking at it, there it is. And that. Let's see what happens. Run your code. Run your code. Run it all the time. Run it constantly. Don't sit in code and then be sorry you didn't run it sooner. Nope, still nothing. I also wonder whether it's behind, but it shouldn't be because it. We can check that kind of thing. Oh, move on. Here's something interesting. So if we look at the remote tab and we look at the current scene tree, we see no effects and we see move unlock effects as a child of the unlock stand. So we're adding it. I don't know that I really need a whole separate scene for this. Well, yeah, there's multiple different ways to unlock moves other than the little item that sits there. Like you can get them from defeating enemies and stuff. I'm thinking about having like NPCs that'll just you talk to them and or you buy them from the shop or something. You know, haven't decided yet, but okay. So we have this, and when I go hit here, we know this is running. My key moves, fire effect, and it's signal fire effect. F. Do we have anything there? I need to remember. Method expected. 2 arguments called with 1. Keeps coming back to bite me, dude. Okay, fire effect, F, fire effect, called with 1, which is where emitting, unlock item is emitting 1. And the room is expecting 2. What is the other one that the room is expecting? So we need to send a good argument. Who's affected 2? Node world. Oh, okay, so base area fire effect. Hold on, what did I connect? I connected it to the world level, not the... Yeah, that's the other thing. You gotta watch what node you're connecting your signals to. Yeah, I connected it to world. Maybe... Okay. Should I send it to the world or the room? Because you can put nodes at 2 different levels. So what this does is I think it makes the node but doesn't add it as a child, and then it either sends it to the room or the world and can just pop the effect in one of the 2. I don't remember why I did it that way, but there's a reason. There's always a reason for everything I do. Okay, so we'll just... it sucks that they're different, though. Yeah, because this puts it at a position, which is kind of better. What will happen if I just connect the signal to the room? instead of the world. Let's find out. Let's find. Why did it take so long to start? Yeah, it started. Okay. Okay, and this is more where I renamed a bunch of things because moves anims are variables, and as we learned in the style guide, all variables are lowercase snake case. And let's use find replace to change this. We match case. We don't want to do that one, so we continue, replace. I bet these are the only two. Let's just check to be sure. 0 matches. Okay. Baby. Yeah! Oh, so close. Okay, so what's supposed to happen here is it does pause. Oh, I know why. I changed it. Okay. So you get the little flashy thing. I'm going to make it less obnoxious. What should happen here is AK will use the move that she learned just to show you what it is, you know? Oh. It'd be something real cool. And then you'd be like, yeah, I found it. Oh, I got that cool move. And then it should open up the menu that'll let you equip it. So why isn't that happening? Let's see. Let's check it out. It's because I changed this. So before, so it pauses the game because I don't want anything to happen here. So in Godot, when you pause the game, you can tell your nodes whether you want them to stay paused during get tree paused, or you can keep them running by changing this pause node variable for any type of node. And I keep flip-flopping between wanting my character animation player to process during pause and not process during pause, because sometimes it makes sense, like when I have dialogue, I like them to be doing their idle, and during this, I want them to still be able to use moves to show stuff off. But when I actually pause the game with the pause menu, I don't want them to be moving. So I might at some point go in and like have it procedurally change the pause mode based on the different situations. Okay, well, now that I changed that, let's run it, not that one, this one. Long video. Two-parter? Yeah, she did it! Okay, now it's supposed to start the dialogue. And that's the wrong animation. I want to make it a good one. Let's pick a good one. Let's go out to Fighter and find a cool animation. No, let's look at AK. She's... debug world. Close the room. Find AK. Open her. Fighter animation player. The first part of it. That's one of my favorite animations too. It's bummed that it's all messed up right now. She like throws a... There's a sprite. It's probably messed up an A sprite too. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, see, it's like it's cool. And I'm gonna add a big smear in between these two. Like and it'll look awesome. But she's not doing that. For some reason it's like out of sync, and it's like the end of this and then it's the beginning of that. So that sucks. So it's probably that all of her moves are screwed up past that. All of these messed up. Messed up, yeah. Remote is whip. It doesn't look cool. One of the F's. F's is cool. Point is cool. She doesn't have it. That's kind of cool. So this is going to be like shoot a little laser like Fox and Falco and Smash Bros. Sure. That's not even the right. Okay. Let's change it. Unlock stand, F pop up. It looks cool at least. It looks like a real move. That's something. Okay, so now it's supposed to start up a dialogue. So what's happening? Okay, unlock stand, fire effect, and we have unlock item, move unlock effect, fire, reach target. We do play demo. That's this function. Okay, so unlock dialogue start. So this is where. Okay. Let's see. So this is where I'm using the group. So I have to have a dialogue item in the scene tree somewhere in this unlock dialogue group. And I think, oh, it's because, yeah, wait. Yes. Okay. It's because my world object, that's like my generic game, where I have all the game stuff that's never going to go away, like my pause menu and like the health bars, stuff like that. And in each actual game mode, they are all inherited scenes of this generic world object. So I have the arena, arcade, and adventure. So that's like story mode, roguelike mode, and versus mode. And each of them handles unlocking moves a little bit differently. So I have a different unlock dialogue instance in each of the subclasses, but in my debug, I'm doing like a generic game world. So I don't even have a debug option in here. Right? It's in like a cutscenes thing. Because like in arena mode, in versus mode, you're not unlocking moves at all because it's, one-off fights. You have all the moves already. So, okay, game modes. I guess I'll take it off adventure mode. There we go. Copy paste. Debug world. Should I take it off adventure or arcade? Actually, I think they're the same. Yes, they're the same. Okay, so it should be the same either way. Where is it? Debug world. I'm going to close my other scenes. Close other tabs. Cool. And this should already be in the group. It's already in the group. Let's just try it. Just try it. Don't try to confirm before you get too far ahead of yourself. Maybe your code just works. Maybe it just works every time. Ah, it started doing something. Okay, so this part, init portraits and base, invalid, non-existent function, init portraits. Base node 2D portraits.gd. I think I changed the name of this function, possibly. So where even is this? In dialog box. Okay. Dialog. What? Maybe this creates a portraits object? It must. Let's look at remote to see what's going on. Unlock dialog, portraits. Yeah, so at some point, I'm initializing this. Okay. Portraits. Did I change the name of this function? Init portrait. Instead of portraits, it just makes one portrait. And I pass it in a character. And the character is going to be what? Animations in portrait. What is this function getting? Portrait. Animations, a string. Okay, so this should also be a string. I should make this. Here's another naming thing. So when you do the colon, string. So when you do the colon and then you use the type, the class type, that will cause Godot at runtime to throw an error if you pass it the wrong type of argument. So if you want to always send it an integer, you do that, string. So this way, it's another good thing about it is you know what you're expecting, right? So it's good to always put this kind of thing in your functions. And then if you're returning something, you can do that. You don't have to put either of these because GDScript is dynamically typed, but it's good. And in Godot 4, it gives you performance improvements to do this kind of thing. So I strongly suggest it. So, okay, init portrait. So let's see. So init portraits, portrait. And we're passing in a string, and we want to make sure that's a string. Why is characters empty? What are we doing? Deferred start, characters, init portrait. So we need to go through all the characters, because in this case, where are we even setting that? Are we setting it somewhere else? I hope. Deferred start happens somewhere else, so I don't know where actually set that. But it's fine. Okay. For character in, because I changed it. I changed portraits just like earlier today. Instead of just initializing all the characters, I'll show you what portraits is, hopefully. It'll make more sense once I show you what it is. Yeah! Okay, so more problems that are related to renaming things. Let's check. And match case. Not moves. Match case. That's fine. Okay, let's see. Learn pop-up. Equip it. Yes! Yeah! Yeah! Sick! Okay. You can equip pop-up by picking a move in your moveset to swap. Next. Rearrange any other moves you'd like by swapping them out. Cool. You can change your moveset later in the green room. Awesome. Oh, what happened? Moves. More renaming, but it's good. You want to rename. No matter how big a deal you think it is, make your code nice every now and then. Cool. Uh-oh. That's no good. I don't like that either. Let's see. Find replace. Preview fighter. So this is a complicated enough name that I'm comfortable just find replace all on that. If it's a short word that I think might be used, some of the matches are good and some of them aren't. Uh-oh, I screwed it up somehow. Oh no, I regret everything. Okay, you know what? I take it all back. I take it all back. Someday I'll go through and actually figure out how I need to do a find replace on that. Okay. So we got this far. Learn pop-up. Yes, yes. Learn it. Yes, yeah. Sick. So that little thing that tells you about how this moves menu works only happens once. Okay, so again with the renaming, it's worth it. It's worth it. And even though that's commented code, I'm still gonna change it. Actually, I'm just gonna turn this off. Here's another tip for you. If you use source control, you don't need to comment your code out. You know what? As long as we're at it, let's go and commit my changes so that because it's been, I don't think I have today yet, so worlds status git add all git commit and checkpoint rubber ducking YouTube. Nope, smiley faces aren't allowed. Oh, what? Oh, it's because damn it. Commit and checkpoint rubber. I used a double quote. Okay. So when you commit your stuff to source control, you don't need to care about commenting your code out because you can just get it back from source control. That's a great tip to keep things neat in the code. Tips and tips. Tips on tips, dude. Okay. So that was me fixing capitalization. One more try. See? That. Learn pop-up. Learn? Yeah. Okay. This is actually not pop-up, it's point, but it is still going to be. So pop-up is like a combo starter. It's like it does low damage, but so it does low damage, 2 damage, but it has fast startup 6. I think it's supposed to be faster than that even. And it has vertical knockback, so it's supposed to be a combo starter, so you can start juggling. This is I don't like the frame data on this. I think it's the default frame data. It's still +4 though. That's pretty good. Okay. So do I want to switch? Let's switch my poke with pop-up and save. Let's see if it works. Yep, it worked. Sick. The knockback isn't working right. And it's doing too much damage. That doesn't seem to actually be the right move. Oh, I think it's because it does so much knockback. I have the hit stop. So I have hit stop working, right? I watched Sakurai's video on hit stop and screen shake. And I was like, oh man, I gotta put those in. So when you land a hit, both characters pause for a minute, and it scales based on how much damage you did. So, and also how much knockback you did. But I think it shouldn't do on knockback. So I only want it to, like... Oh, she died. Uh-oh. Oh, that jitteriness happens because I have... it's because of, I think, camera smooth. So I switch back and forth between my camera being smoothing and not smoothing, or when characters leave. Like, what I want is focus on the player, but then also focus on NPCs that are in range, so that the camera can be in range. But once it becomes too far, and you would be splitting the screen, like, once both characters would be off screen, it will keep its focus to the player, but when that happens, I don't want the camera to jump right back. So I turn on smoothing for just a second. Even though it's bad for pixel art, it's fine because it just smooths back to the center towards the character, and then it's supposed to turn off after it focuses back on the character, but I think it's not doing that if you die or something. But I don't know if that's really why. Smoothing enabled on. Yep, it is. Ow. So yeah, when you leave it on, it causes jitter, and when it's off, it's fine. So that's a bug I gotta fix. Maybe I'll take a note. Maybe I'll take a little note. Okay. Camera smoothing doesn't disable when fighter is killed. But it worked! It worked! It worked! I got it! Rubber ducking's great. Try it out sometime. Try it out sometime. Do it for YouTube or get your little plushie. You'll be 10 times a better programmer when you're explaining it to a little toy you got on your desk. All right, buddy. Next time.